Okay, it's raining today, so you're going to hear a little rain on the outskirts, but the next project we're going to do, the little tiny projects, is what I just showed you, and that is the little Larry Green's pattern. This is his pattern, his design, and it's a little happy tree. And now Doug carved a much larger version in one of his videos, but I'm going to show you how to carve the smaller version. Now this version is only about 2 inches tall. Let me exactly with everything. Yeah, it's not very tall together. That's about, let's see, no, it's about 2.5. I'm sorry, excuse me, I apologize for that. Yeah, it's about 2.5 inches tall. It makes it, well, look at this little wonderful gift you can give somebody. You know, it's about 2.5 inches tall, and this is the little happy tree. I call it happy tree, a little ornament, Christmas ornament I think Larry did with it. And so what we're going to do, I'm going to show you how to carve one of these miniature ones. You know, we carved a little axe last time that will go into the stump, and this will be the little tree. Now, if you want to see a bigger version carved, then Doug Linker has one on his website. But this is the little small one, the little tiny one. So the first thing I'm going to do is just kind of make a cut. I'm going to bring that trunk down just a little bit. Ooh, it's raining hard out there. Wow. I'm sorry, I didn't mean for it to be this much rain, but we're getting a monsoon season down here. It's raining a lot down here in southeast Texas. And as I left you with last time, this is the peak of the hurricane season, which is September. But we're just getting a lot of rain. We're not getting any hurricanes or anything like that. But we have had more than our share of rain. A very rainy season coming off the Gulf. So, and it's really these are really strange. This is kind of like Florida, you know, where you're standing around and it's sun shining outside, and all of a sudden this monsoon comes and just catches you by surprise. Well, that's the way that this Texas weather has been down in our area. In other words, in fact, we had some flooding in Beaumont yesterday, which is about 16 miles from here. They had a little flooding over there with the rains. So we want to bring that trunk down just a little bit, and this is a real simple project. Doesn't take that long to carve, and when we color it up, it's just very, very perfect. Now, I may not carve it exactly like Doug does or Larry Green does or whatever, but I think you can still get the effect that you need with that. So now, on these little trees, you're going to go from each side, and you're going to come over here on this, and you're going to start taking this down over here. You're going to start on each side bringing these areas down. Now when you come down here to the bottom, you're going to have to change your grain a little bit. And as you see, you just sort of take it down, and you're going to take these down on both sides so that you can get that little ridge right there to come up so that you can do the face and the eyes and everything like that, in other words. Now, like I said, please don't, oh, well, Doug does it this way, or look, we all do things differently, and Doug is a personal friend of mine, wonderful carver, has tons of more subscribers than I do, but once again, I'm not Doug. And Doug does his way, and I do mine my way. So let's not get into all that stuff. And people say, well, that don't happen. Yeah, it does. It does happen with carvers a lot of times. How things should be done. But as old, what's her name? What's that comedian? Get Her Done, you know. He's yeah. All right, so I'm kind of carve that down on this side, and I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna bring this down on this side. And you need to kind of turn it over like this and kind of get it down a little bit. But all this is just to bring this section up in here so that you can do your little piece here is all. I made a little template for the small piece, and there we go. We've kind of gotten that. Now you see how we've done this little ridge here where we can kind of work on our little piece as we go along here and do our eyes and stuff. And I may do my eyes a little bit different than Doug does, but you know, we won't, as carvers, we want to complement one another. We don't want to necessarily challenge one another, you know. I was just in a show, a carving show in Tulsa. There was the Eastern Wood Carvers or whatever it was, and they carved a little squirrel. I think took an hour or two to carve a little squirrel. And oh man, I mean, it was just now you're not gonna believe this, but a moment ago, it's about 11 o'clock in the morning here. It was sun shining, it was beautiful, it was just absolutely gorgeous, and then all of a sudden that rain is coming down like a wild man, in other words. That's Southeast Texas, people. I tell you what, that is Southeast Texas weather, I tell you. And it's raining hard out there right now. Okay, so all right, now what I did here, and you don't have to do that, but let me get my thing out here, and let me come down a little bit. I'm gonna see how far I came down that nose. I came down about an inch. That nose was about an inch. I came down on that thing. So, and your nose is your center point. So let me come down a little bit more. All right, let me come down about an inch on that nose. Wow, that thing is pouring out there. You can hear it though. You can hear. Let me come down about an inch. No, that's not too. That's not right here. That's too much. All right, let me just sort of figure it out. What you want to do is come about midway, somewhere about right in here, and put your nose. Okay. About midway on the piece, and you're going to take and you're going to make a little V cut right here, okay? V cut right there. Okay, see that? And then you're just going to come up a little bit further, and you're going to make you another V cut right there. Okay? And that's going to give you your little nose right there. Now I might go a little bit higher than a lot of people do. But see, that's where it's going to give you your little nose. And then you're going to make a little cut here and a little cut here. And you're going to take your knife and you're just going to remove that wood right in there. Okay? See the little nose we're getting? Now, we don't want the nose to be, let's cut a little bit more. Let's just cut a little bit more, get a little bit more depth to the nose. Right in there. And right in there. And we're going to take this up here and we're just going to kind of flatten that out. Just like this, because that's where the eyes are going to go. Okay? Now, we don't want the nose to be square, so we're going to go ahead and cut this nose down. We're going to go from side to side, just like this. And we're going to cut this nose down a little bit. And we're going to go from the bottom here and the bottom here. See how we're making that nose a little bit round? And we're going to just kind of work from each side, and look at that. We've already got that nose looking round right there. Okay? We're going to continue to leave this . Okay, now we're going from the nose itself. I'm going to bring that nose down just a little bit more. There we go. Give a little bit more look to it, okay? And then I'm going to take, and from the nose here, it's going to be a little bit hard to see. I'm just going to come down like this, and whoa. Whoa, little darling. That was a good one. Hope I don't lose my electricity here in a minute. We're going to make these little things down here on the nose. These are the age lines, what I call them, whenever you make them on a person. And we're just going to come down here and swing that knife a little like that. And we're going to take the edge of our knife and we're going to remove that wood just like that. Okay? And let's do it here. And we're going to, I may have to close that garage door. You're getting kind of violent out there. Of course, I know a lot of you like to hear that rain. You like to hear it. And take that off right there. So, we got kind of a, these are age lines, what I call, and they're not really age lines in this little tree, but they are. They give that, and the deeper you go, the more they give you, the more character they give you. And I'm going to hit it one more time. Okay. These are our little age lines. Now, all I did with these little pieces is I just come across here. I just make him a little smiling face right here. Now I know that and I come across here just like this, and I give him that little smiling face. Just like that, see? Very simple, very unique. I just give him that little smiling face there. Okay? Alright, now the next thing is the eyes. Now I try to make the eyes as simple as possible, and Larry did it fine. Now I just take, I'm sorry, and I just come over here and I just come up like this and down like this and come across here like that. Okay? Now, like I said, Doug may do his different. I don't know. And then I take my knife and I come around the inside of that just like that. Okay? And then I take my knife. Now, you can do this with a V-tool too, but I'm going to do it with a knife. And you take that part right in there, out of there. And it leaves that little inside in there, just like that. Leaves that little, and then you can go around and hit it a little bit further and open that up just a little bit, but it leaves that little portion of it right in there. Okay? In fact, you can even do that right in here and take a little bit off just in here just to give it. But it doesn't have to be. Now all I do is just draw a little line across here, and these will, and a little line down here, and these are going to be your eyes. Now remember, this is a miniature, so it's a little bit harder. That's why I don't recommend new people that are carving to do this. And you cut a little V-tool right there to separate that, and you bring it down and you cut a little V in there to separate the eyes. I could have used my V-tool on this because that's real small, but I didn't have to. And that's cut right there. I make a little cut here again to separate that. You want to be careful because that's real small in there. And there your eyes are that way, okay? Okay, now, we just want to kind of come around and just sort of go to the edges here, and we want to just kind of take our knives around the edges here and just sort of cut that in there. Get those saw marks off there. You want to be careful, like I said. This is you can turn it like this and do the same thing. Here we go. Stop, cut. Stop, cut. Just a little bit there. Okay? Alright, now, one of the things we want to do next is to get my little V-tool, and I'm going to have to go get it. I don't have it with me. Stupid me. Well, I forgot I needed my V-tool for this project. Let me get it real quick. And I have one of the smallest V-tools that FlexCut makes. I think it's about a 16th or an 8th. I think maybe it's an 8th, but it's a 16th or 8th or something like that. It's the very, very small V-tool. Here, let me lay this down. I don't want this to fall. This is a very small V-tool. And what I want to do is I want to come and put the little marks. Now be careful around your fingers on the tree right here. And if you can put 2 marks, 2 in, you know, you can hit it twice, that's good. Some of them you can't, like this one here. I'm just going to put 1. And this one here, look at that. See how I'm just kind of slowing that down? And then I'm going to come up here and I'm going to put these little indentions here. And I think I can put 2 on this one. And I don't know if I can get 2 on this. I'm just going to put 1. And I think I can get 2 on this one. But you got to be real careful. Real careful. Now, what we want to do, and I'm going to finish this up, is let's go ahead and shape our little trunk so that it fits what we want. Which means we just kind of round off the trunk a little bit, shape it a little bit. Just go around it and take off a little in here, and a little bit in here, and just a little bit in here. See, and we look at our little now I'm going to take my V-tool and just hit this area right here that I want. There we go. Here we go. Okay. Now what we want to do is go to our trunk and hit this with a. We want to just kind of hit this with our V-tool and see how that gives the shape of the trunk.